Good morning. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm not a gentle sneezer. I'm just not. I sneeze so heavily. All right, so let me get myself centered. That sneeze jarred my brain. All right, I'm here. Anywho, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, super weird energy today. I'll tell you that. I feel like all of this started probably yesterday. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and I got quite a message. Okay. Quite a message. Let me pop it up on the screen. Saying you're done versus actually being done. Excuse me. This is a huge thing for Pisceans and empaths in general. You know, this whole concept of being done, yet we continue to be in the same situation, right? This can be something. This can be something that is romantic, obviously. This can also be something that is platonic. This is something that could be family, it could be business, it could be all sorts of different things, all sorts of different types of connections, right? Because really, we kind of do this for quite a few people who are in our lives. This again concept of I'm done, but not acting like we're actually done. When you say you're done and you continue to put up with certain types of behaviors, then are you actually done? Or are you simply like wanting to just be treated better, right? With more consideration and all of this and all of that. That's all lovely and everything, but when people get accustomed to I guess you could say being dismissive towards you, um, that's a very hard cycle to break. It's a very, very difficult cycle to break. And what ends up happening is um, they end up feeling, and you end up feeling as though what's wrong with them and what's wrong with you? Why can't you just blah, blah, blah? Well, why can't you just blah, blah, blah? You know? So it becomes this pretty vicious type of cycle. Let's get started with the cards. Can you guys still hear me okay? I just don't want you to be able to hear the fan because I don't know if that's going to be annoying in your ears. Card number 11, diving for light. So, when you are surrounded by darkness, dark thoughts, dark people, dark intentions, and when I say dark people, I'm talking about people who exist in shadows, okay? This is not about your melanin content. This is about how dark of a heart you have. You know what I mean? You can hear it. Yikes. Or you hear me fine? I don't know. Okay. I don't remember what I asked. Anyways, I don't know if I had said it. This reading is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. also for your cross watchers, also for those of us who find ourselves on this channel without any Piscean anything. You're probably an empath, and you're probably needing messages from your soul. Okay. So, card number 2, inner trust, allowing yourself to trust that you can guide yourself out of situations, right? The situations that you've been struggling through are actually situations that are helping you to grow yourself and your perception of you. The people in your life who create strife, they're not necessarily bad people, but when their effect on you is bad, what ends up happening is you begin to see them as bad people. And again, it goes back to the whole, if you say you're done, you need to make sure that you start acting like you're done. Excuse me, you need to make sure that you cease participating in the very situations that cause you to feel like you need to be done, right? This has really nothing to do with whether the person is a good person, a bad person, all of that jazz. It's kind of just like, what do you need? What do you need from your life right now? For example, for me, um, if you've been in my life for a long time and I have so much love and loyalty for you, and I get to a point where I feel like my loyalty for you causes me to um, blind myself to the type of behaviors that you have. And your behaviors are like super duper detrimental to me and my peace. I need to not be around you, right? There are people that I have in my life who I love tremendously, but because you're toxic, like I'm not going to be answering every single text message. I'm not going to be coming over. I'm not going to be trying to have all of these conversations with you and, going out of my way to try and make sure that you know how much you mean to me. It's kind of like this thing of, if you mean that much to me, you should know how much you mean to me, because I'm not really someone who hides how much people mean to me. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's pretty obvious. I think it's pretty obvious if you mean that much to me and you have that type of loyalty coming from me. Um, and it's this thing of like, sometimes you will have people in your life who mean a lot to you, but they're still in the toxic cycles that cause them to think their behaviors are okay. Um, like you text, but they don't answer, right? And then when they text you, they expect you to drop what you are doing, or else you're like, ugh, yeah, no, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You're not going to coerce me into having a sort of like structure of relationship, a dynamic where you are going to dominate me. Like, there's no, I'm not going to agree to that, you know? And when you become aware that people are very covert with their toxicity, um, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Are you supposed to are you supposed to continue to just take it? If it causes you to question yourself and your worth, and it causes you to feel as though you're less than what you actually are, because they don't value you, because they have this passive aggressive way of making you feel like, oh, that's so and so, they're like, then I need to just not be an active component of your life, right? This is about not allowing your loyalty to cause you to betray yourself, your loyalty to someone else, to their feelings. Oh, Pisces. If they can't take the time to pause and see how their behavior just absolutely eviscerates you, you're going to have to pause and assess for yourself. Ask yourself why they're allowed to. Ask yourself why they have access to you in that way. Because they shouldn't. They really, really shouldn't. You have to be able to trust yourself to know you're not operating from a place of like vindictiveness. I mean, unless you are, at which point be honest with yourself. Don't do things out of vindictiveness. I exited that part of myself that was capable of being vindictive many, 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 many years ago. I exist in a place within myself where my personal peace is the most important thing to me. And people might be like, oh my gosh, your personal peace is more important than your children. I can't be a healthy mother for my children unless I'm existing centered in my peace. And that's the thing. Does it affect your level of mental, emotional health? Trying to cater to people who they don't take that into consideration. Whatever you wish other people would take into consideration about you, but they don't, you need to take it upon yourself to consider those fractured, fragile parts of you. You are responsible for that. And if you think that you can sacrifice so much of you, so that way the other person is now obligated to take care of that part because I sacrificed it for you, I think you're setting yourself up to hurt your own heart. Let me be a little more forthcoming. I know you're setting yourself up. You are absolutely setting yourself up to be hurt by you, no one else. So now is the period where you need to begin choosing things based on what you actually need from your life. If you need people to support you and the person in your life does not support you, it might be time to reconsider why you're allowing that person to continue to be an active part of your life. Just because you determine someone should no longer be an active part of your life does not mean you're being told to disown people. It just means you need to begin allowing space to exist within yourself where someone else who can support you can be allowed to come front and center. You know, like I noticed that Pisceans have a tendency to push everyone else away. We're kind of like Chihuahuas. Chihuahuas, they bond with basically just one human. They will tolerate all other humans if their chosen human is not around. They'll tolerate everyone else. Like, all right, fine, you can hug me, you can hold me, but you're not my human. You know what I'm saying? So it's this thing of if your human is not treating you in a humane way, it might be time to reconsider who you've selected to bond with in that manner. Okay. Card number 36, listening for truth. Allowing yourself to hear the things that you don't have the courage to say to someone else. Oftentimes the very thing that you lack the courage to say to someone else is the very thing you actually do need to say. And that's a sad part, is that the most important things that you need to communicate are oftentimes the most painful, most difficult things that are damn near impossible to get out. I don't know. If you have any type of suggestion for other people, things that worked for you, maybe you should put it in the comments and, you know, people can gain some sort of inspiration from reading what you've been through, reading what you did that worked for you. I don't know that arguing with people to try and demand the respect that you feel you deserve the healthiest thing, because it's kind of like, and what if they say no? Then what happens? If they say no and it's now this confrontational thing. Are you good with confrontation? Because what good is going to come of that? And I'm someone who does not communicate well when I'm going through, excuse me, difficult thoughts about people who I care about. I don't function very well. Um, it causes me to shut down, and I need quite a bit of time to process. So then it becomes this thing of, well, I can't say what needs to be said, and I'm not going to force you to stay. So it was nice knowing you. And I see that that's a trauma response. For me, that's totally a trauma response, and I have to work on that. So it's hard for me personally to go ahead and verbalize, what's going on and what's wrong, and what I'm going through that's causing me to kind of be reactive to my environment and my connections in the way that I am. And that's just a part of me. That's just how I cope. That is how I am. And so, you know, if people are not able to deal with that, then I respect that. Just like I have to respect my own feelings of not being able to cope with what I'm feeling towards someone else. This ties into the work done by Dr. Dabrowski, the theory of positive disintegration. It's what you go through as you level up. And if you don't rise to the challenge of what your soul is asking you, begging you, forcing you to be cognitively aware of, you get dumped off right back at square one, where you go out of your way to conform, comply, to try and assimilate in an environment that's so toxic to yourself and your soul. Um, it's very common to go through these cycles, though. It's not some sense of failure that you need to have just because you cycled through this type of thing. No, it's about recognizing that so long as you continue to not rise to the challenge, you're going to continue to struggle through it. Absolutely. Card number 23, defend to the end the worthwhile. You're worth speaking up for. You just are. You don't have to continue to live your life in such a way where you have to stay quiet. And here's the thing, right? Because I just heard someone say, well, what if people don't like it when I speak up? Well, then why are you in that environment? Why are you in that environment? I realized a large portion of why I felt like I had to hide myself and the ways in which I'm so different from the average person is because I was living in an environment that required mediocrity. That even in your success, it has to be a mediocre type of success. It has to be a type of success that mediocre people can tolerate, or else they can't celebrate it. Maybe it's time for you to really begin to recognize you were not born for mediocrity. You just weren't. And people might be like, oh my God, so she really thinks she's better than everyone. No, I think I'm better than the person you're trying to force me to be. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Why does it offend you that I understand that I'm not meant to be mediocre? Is it because your sense of your self-worth is tied to my compliance with your demand to play smaller than you? And if that's the case, why the F are you in my environment? Because for me personally, you can achieve more than me and I can absolutely celebrate you. I will like genuinely be so ridiculously happy and celebrate you. And I'm totally the person who will go around and brag about you and what you've just accomplished, even if it has absolutely nothing to do with me, because you deserve to be celebrated. And it's this thing of like, are you in an environment who celebrates when you accomplish mediocre things that they feel is just insignificant? But, the moment you begin to accomplish things that, they can't deny how profound that is, oh, now you're bragging. Now it's like, oh, she's better than everybody. Oh, they believe in you and your worth, your capability more than you do. And they don't ever want you to tap into that and recognize that, because guess what? Like I said earlier, their sense of self worth is heavily attached to you not tapping into your worth. You have to play small, or it's very, very abrasive. The people who low key would compare themselves to you and see how superior they are. That sucks. That really, really sucks. That's not a form of love. Pitying me is not loving me. Giving to me because you pity me is not love. You're not giving. You're not. You're feeding your ego. See, and that's what we need to recognize. Sometimes the people in our lives, we're like, but I have to be loyal because they've given me so much. But did they give to you, or was that like extra? I've had people who have, in the rare instances that I am accepting or asking for donations, they give to me and they're like, I'm so sorry, this is all I have. I only have $5. I know it's not much. No, that's a lot. You're not working right now. Like, that's a lot. That's an entire meal. Like, you shouldn't give me $5. But the fact that you gave me what little you have, I cherish that just as deeply as someone who has tremendous amounts of wealth giving me $5,000. I cherish that just as much, because you gave what little you have. And that tells me very, very clearly, wow, oh my God, I mean this much to you. You're not just giving what's easy and extra. You're actually like really, really trying so hard, so hard to love me in the way that you feel I deserve. Now, I don't require people to, give to their detriment. Absolutely not. That makes me feel horrible. But it also, while I feel horrible, helps me to understand, like, wow, oh my goodness. It means so much to you to know that, I'll be okay, that you put yourself in that position. Like, I have to be grateful for that. I have to be grateful for your presence in my life, not because I'm being forced to, but because this is an undeniable, like, wow. Wow. Those are the kind of people that I love having in my life. People who don't make it seem like now I'm obligated because you said so, because you took advantage of a moment where I was extremely vulnerable. And yes, that's a trauma response that I have. It absolutely is. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to think and live in that way, where it's like, oh, I'm just waiting for you to kind of tug on that string because you gave me something, and now you're eventually going to tug on that string and I'm going to have to do what you say. And it's just this thing of recognizing a lot of the stuff you go through are actually trauma responses to previous earlier life traumas that you still continue to struggle through. It's okay to not have everything it's okay to not have everything figured out. It's okay to recognize where you are in your journey and what parts of you still need to grow, still need your love. It's very much okay. It's very, very much okay. And what you're going to need to do is begin to love yourself right there, not when you exit it, but love yourself right there in that deep, dark valley where you are so alone. Such a difficult journey for those who feel so deeply. But here's the beautiful thing. This is what I teach my students. If you can't scan by using visuals, that does not make you less than. It just positions you in the most powerful type of way, because really, though, you can feel so deeply, so deeply. Allow yourself to encourage the development of those feelings, not just a continuation, but the development, the cultivation of your ability to feel in such a deep, very, very deep way. It's so difficult to lie to you when you feel so deeply, because you can feel it. I had someone who, um, this is someone who once upon a time carried such a profound place within my heart and my life. As we've both grown, we've become different people. We've become very, very different. And we go through our seasons where, hardship, heartbreak, whatever it is, it'll bring us back together. And as soon as that's resolved, as soon as that stabilizes, and the truth of who they now are and who I am now, it rises back to the surface, and there's no connectivity there. It's sad. As much as I try, there's no connection there. There's just this loyalty that we have both since long outgrown. So what do? You accept it for what it is. It is what it is. Pathways between two hearts that have become clogged, that have atrophied, that no longer function in the way they were designed to function. It's okay for you to love someone from a distance. It's okay for you to see exactly what it is and understand you're toxic, but I love you so much. And if you ever need anything, really let me know. But until you have an actual need for me in your life, I'm going to return back to my own. I'm going to focus on me and my life and my growth. And I know that when I do that, the divide between us, that's going to become much more pronounced. We're going to become so much more different. But should you ever need to exit your life because it's become too difficult and you cannot handle it, that pathway is still there. You just have to clean away the dead weeds, and you can find yourself back to me. I will help. But short of actually needing my help, I don't need to be around to be your whipping girl or boy, to receive whatever toxicity it is that overflows from you. I can't do that for you. I can't love you in that way. Because the price of loving you in that way is the cost of me losing who I am. And as much as I love you, I'm growing to love myself so much more than you. It's okay for you to make yourself your priority. That doesn't mean you disregard everyone else. That means you take into consideration how helping someone else, how considering someone else's feelings will affect your personal peace. And if the price of assisting is a cost of your personal peace, I think you're asking too high a price from me. I think I'm going to just have to let you fail so you can finally learn, see for yourself, experience firsthand why it is so important for you to finally choose to change the way you live. Like, my love is ridiculously powerful because I can do that for people. I can love you in a way where I will let you fall. And I won't ridicule you when you're sitting there on your ass. I'll reach my hand. Are you ready to get up? You need some time. People used to say, like, I used to criticize my parenting because what I would do with my toddlers, I let them climb on whatever. But I'll tell them, like, oh, what you're doing looks kind of dangerous. You sure you should do that? You okay? Okay. And then they fall. And I don't just rush over to you. If you have chosen to explore the couch by standing on the armrest, which is not, it's not super big deal, and you fall, it's gonna be like, when you actually fall, I'm gonna be like, are you okay? I know it scared you. I know. Come on, sit up. Do you need me to check if anything hurts? Do you want a hug? You know, it's not gonna be like, oh, I told you. No. I remember when one of my kids was like 2, I think he was around 2. He was sitting, he was straddling the armrest. And I had told him several times, like, that's dangerous. You can lose your balance and fall. And my kids are ridiculously smart. And so he's calculating. He was calculating the potentiality for harm. And he thought, you know, it's just not that far from the floor. So he continued to sit like that. And I was like, okay. He fell. He cried. I knew something was wrong. He doesn't cry. He's one of my most gentle sons. He doesn't cry. He, you know, and my husband was like, "Oh my god, he's fine. He's fine. He's not fine. He's not fine. Go get the biggest wooden spoon from the kitchen and get me the hand wraps." Because, you know, my siblings are into MMA and they were getting my son into MMA, and so they gave him hand wraps, and I got a fortune cookie and I wrapped my toddler's arm into a wooden spoon with a fortune cookie to neutralize his wrist. And we took him to the ER. He had a hairline fracture. Hairline. They were like, oh, it's so good you brought him in. I know. I knew something was wrong. And after that, he didn't sit straddling the couch again. He didn't. Did I shame him? No. Did I anticipate him breaking his arm? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because had I anticipated him breaking his arm, I wouldn't have just sat back and like, okay, no, the couch wasn't that high. It's just the way that he fell. And it becomes this thing of like, no matter how much you try and calculate the outcome, you can't always calculate what the outcome will be. Now, had he just fallen properly, you know, just fell like a kid would fall, um, he wouldn't have fractured his arm. This is the tiniest fracture. He wouldn't have fractured it. But because he's highly intelligent and he knew the actual risk, he tried to break his fall. That's what fractured his arm. That's what fractured it. You can't tell people how to react to their life and their circumstance. Sometimes people will continue to push that circumstance until they experience what they need to experience. And even as a mother, you cannot stop your children from experiencing what they need to experience. And quite honestly, the more you try and control what they experience to quote unquote protect them, the more they'll learn not to trust you, to keep secrets from you. So, how does this apply to romantic relationships, friendships with adults? Why are you treating them like your child? They don't need you to protect them from their own life choices. When someone continues to choose to be the root source of their toxicity, the toxicity in their life, you have to respect that. You just do. You have to respect it. You have to allow them to learn what they need to learn. Um, let's see. Card number 4, against the grain. So this is kind of telling me that someone in your life does not like how you are. You rub them the quote unquote wrong way. Why? Well, because you don't do what they expect you to do. You don't play along the way they need you to play along. I'm not going to coddle your insecurities. I'm just not. I'm not. You don't like it? Well, I don't like your behavior. Good to know that we both are not appreciating each other's behaviors. Okay, so since we're both so unhappy with the other, maybe it's time to reassess why we're in each other's lives, even as friendships, you know? Why are we in each other's lives? Is it because you are helping me to learn, see clearly what I don't want to be? I mean, sometimes that's why someone's in your life, so that you can see clearly how the specific types of choices and mindsets that person embodies will lead to the very types of characters and things that you really don't want, you know? Earn a companion pass. Hmm, companion pass. Are you giving someone a pass to remain as your companion? Are you giving them a free ride? I tell you right now, if that's what's happening in your life, they're never gonna let you go. And that doesn't mean they're gonna be so grateful for you that they're gonna choose to behave in a healthier manner. Like, you know, you gotta kind of just accept the situation for what it is, the toxic one. Yeah. I've had quite a few people in my life who had a companion pass. What that means is, as long as you're with me, I got you. I'll pay for all your things. I will, carry you. Everything. That's not a friend. That's a burden. Let that sink in. That's not a friend. That's a burden. If they never ever contribute to your life, your growth, how is that a friend? And their presence always comes with an expectation of how much you need to overgive. Does it make you a bad person to finally recognize the burdensome ways that this relationship is? Seriously. Now, that might rub people the wrong way, that I would call a connection burdensome. So, what's positive about it? Because they provide you company? Are they choosing to be some sort of companion for you because they love you or because of the benefits of it? And be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Think of the person that comes to mind when this whole topic comes up. If you lost your job and you lost your home, would they offer to allow you to stay at theirs? Would they buy your groceries for you? Would they invest in you so that way you could, um, I don't know, start your own business? They would loan you money to start your own business, and they're not going to try and be a part of it. They just want to see you succeed and, pay back the loan whenever you get a chance to. Be really finally aware of why people are in your life. I have learned firsthand, not everyone who says they love you is being completely honest, because for some, that's only half the sentence. The other half that you don't stop to listen to is, I love you because of what you give me. I love you because of what I get from you. And I think you already know. I think you are so painfully aware of exactly what people are in your life. If they are someone who truly cares for you and truly wants you to succeed and celebrates and cherishes you, or if they're someone who's there for the benefits. It's okay for people to choose to be there for the benefit. What's not okay is if you choose to allow them to, with an expectation that your love will change them into someone who's more like you. It won't. I've tried. It never does. It never does. It just never does. Looking back at some of the portions of my life where I learned the most profound lessons, they were the parts of my journey where I was being so severely and so poorly treated by other people. Because why? Well, they were angry with me. Why? Did I do something to them? Did I cheat them? Did I backstab them? What did I do? I finally removed myself from their life, not by cussing them out, not by accusing them of anything, not by going around and telling people how they're horrible. No, I just took a step back, saw what I needed to see, and then I quietly disappeared. And they were angry. Why were they angry? Because I allowed them to feed off of me for so long. For so long. That's why. I had my part in that. I have to take accountability for the way in which I created such an unhealthy, extremely unbalanced, extremely toxic connection. I was overgiving beyond overgiving. Yeah. And I can't sit here and be like, because I'm a good person. No, that overgiving stems from my insecurity. I didn't want to do this journey alone. I didn't want to be publicly visible alone. I wanted to have my own little super crew. So that way, let me promote y'all. I just be there in the background doing my little thing. I just do my little thing. So, maybe more people will pay attention to you guys instead, because I don't really want people paying attention to me. But I'm still doing my work. So, I thought it was a nice little loophole. You know what a noose is? It's a loophole. Careful what loopholes you try and use. See, they say when you give someone enough rope, eventually they'll hang themselves. And sometimes the way that plays out is you give them enough rope, knowing they have the capability of hanging you. And you knew that. You're highly intuitive. You've been through quite a bit of shit. That's why you're an empath. Empathy is developed when you experience traumatic experiences from childhood through adulthood. That's how your empathy is developed, through trauma. You're very aware of people's intentions. You just don't want to believe it. Because why? It's not because you're dumb, I tell you that much. Because you don't want to believe that people are capable of doing the things you're not capable of doing. Just because you don't have their heart and cannot understand why they would betray people in the way that they do does not mean they are now unable to do that to you. It doesn't mean that at all. They still are who they are, regardless of the influence that you have. I've influenced quite a few people to be a better person. And again, the moment there was no longer access to me, they reverted right back to their truth. And they did exactly what they do best. And that was the very reason that I walked away. That was the very reason that I walked away. You can't change someone. You can't love someone into a place of healing. They have to choose that themselves. If they don't choose that themselves, then it doesn't happen, no matter how much you love on them. It just doesn't happen. They say that a person is who they are by the time they're 5, and that their personality is pretty much set in stone by the time they're like 7, something like that. Don't quote me. But that's what they say. That metaphorical they, that's what they say. Uh, I don't know that you could be their surrogate mom, their adopted mom. I don't know that you can love someone into a sense of wholeness when their entire lives they felt so empty and that's all they identify as. See, here's the thing. This is the thing that's the most important yet is never considered. When they identify as the wound, your presence is a threat. If they identify as the wound and they identify you as capable of healing that wound, what you consider healing, they consider a character assassination. You're going to murder their identity. Hell yeah, they're going to fight you. Hell yeah. Because, as an empath, as a Piscean, we're like, but I just want to love you. And I'm absolutely guilty of that. I'm absolutely guilty of that. That was only half the sentence that my heart was telling me. That's all I needed to hear. I just want to love you. 88% at 848. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Yeah, no, the other half of that sentence. So I just want to love you, but I know that you don't want me to. I know that you won't let me. I know that you will fight me tooth and nail. I just want to love you, but what I want is irrelevant when you choose what you want, which is a continuation of who you know yourself to be. A large portion of the people I walk away from, that's what I do it for. I love on them and then I realize, girl, you're doing it again. You're doing it again. You're gathering up people projects. This is the love you're supposed to give yourself. You cannot fill your internal holes with external distractions. And people will be offended that I say it's a distraction. What is it then? See, when you lie to yourself about what you're actually doing, you add to your pain and lack of growth. And maybe it irritates you that I say words that are very abrasive, because then it really calls you out for what you're doing, which is what distracting yourself from the very thing that you need to do, loving yourself, healing yourself. How dare you think that it's your job to heal other people when you haven't even healed yourself? That's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. For next week's podcast, I was really seriously considering a talk on being a single parent because so many people are single parents and it's so difficult. And I was thinking about it for several hours, like, how would I approach this? How would I frame it? How would I provide the information that I feel is so important to help empower a single parent? And after several hours of thinking about this, I came to only one conclusion. I can't talk about it because I'm not a single parent. I don't know what the struggle is. I that's like that's to me it's fuckery. For me to talk as though I'm some sort of like expert on this, and I don't know what it's like to be a single parent. I'm very, very thankful for that. So what do I need to do? Well, if I'm seriously going to talk about being a single parent, I need to look at all my friends who are single parents. And I need to very humbly approach them and ask them, would you be comfortable sharing your story with me while other people watch? Would you be comfortable helping me to understand exactly what it's like, what you've lived through? Because I can't talk about things that I haven't lived through. That's the main thing about me. If I haven't lived through it, if I haven't experienced it myself, if I haven't healed through it and come out the other side, who the hell am I to speak on that? I'm not going to be one of those people that likes to talk just to talk and talks like I know what I'm talking about if I don't know what I'm talking about. I had someone trying debating with me years ago, and I feel like everyone deserves love. I feel like it doesn't matter what religious beliefs you have. It doesn't matter um, your ancestral people's region. Like none of that matters. We all deserve some common level of mutual respect. And gosh, this person was using biblical things, Bible talk, quoting scriptures and whatnot to spread hatred towards people who don't share their beliefs. And I'm just like, wow, I'm pretty sure Jesus is ashamed of you right now. I'm pretty sure of it. Pretty sure. The fact that you would use his name to be so hateful. I'm pretty sure he wasn't like that in real life. I'm pretty sure of it. And they start asking me questions because my stance is just everyone deserves some mutual basic level of respect, consideration. And this person took it as like what they said was that I am a Muslim lover. Yes, I love Muslims. What's wrong with that? Yes, I'm part of the Christian faith. What's wrong with that? And then they start asking me questions about the Quran, and I didn't study the Quran to that degree. You should actually ask a Muslim. You should ask a Muslim. Yeah. Yeah. See, here's the thing. You can't have hatred towards other people and not question that hatred if you've never allowed yourself to be immersed in that other environment. Like you talking about people you don't even know. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Because someone else said something about someone else? And I was just done. I was done with that. I was done. So I acted done. I said, "You're a fucking idiot. You're a hate-filled idiot." Oh my God, I can't believe you're calling me names. No, I'm speaking the truth. I'm neutrally assessing. I've been neutrally observing your behaviors, and all you've done is be hateful towards anyone who does not believe the same thing you do. And it was literally a huge, like hundreds of comments in this thread. I don't even know how I got tagged into that, but it was hundreds of people commenting on that thread, all like Catholics and Christians, like, you are so hateful. Stop it. We don't believe like you do. Oh no, you just kept going. And it's this thing of, y'all, you're not going to convince him to be anyone than who he is. And if who he is hateful, all you're doing is giving him excuses, opportunities to continue to spew that hatred. The best thing to do for people like that, stop commenting, starve them of that attention. Yeah, starve them of the attention. And he kept tagging me. He kept tagging me. I just like, I'm not responding to nothing. And people would privately message me like, oh my God, did you see what he wrote? No, because I didn't look. Oh my God, he's talking crap about Asians. Well, I mean, considering, it's kind of part of Asia. He was hating on Asians to begin with. That's the eastern part of Asia. Yeah. Yeah. I don't care. Why do you need to spend your time trying to explain to someone who's already convinced that they are justified in their hatred? You don't need to. Someone who's taught hatred but isn't actually a hateful person, they will actually, like, yeah, they'll have some of that hateful type of talk, but they'll actually hear you. They'll consider the things that you're saying. You can have an actual conversation because they weren't really committed to being hateful. They were just taught to be. There are some people who aren't actually truly toxic. They just learn to be. They learn to be either because that is what they had in their environment and they are simply emulating what they saw growing up, or they really are toxic. That's part of their identity through and through. That toxicity is part of their identity through and through. You're not changing that person. You're just not. That's why I say, like, an unbalanced Taurus is quite possibly the most toxic you'll ever come across, because Taurus, they're very bullish, I'm not saying all Taurus is bad. I'm saying a toxic, unbalanced Taurus is the worst you're going to get because they're very committed to that. By the time they're there, you're not going to convince them to be anything outside of what they've already chosen. Like, toxic Pisceans can be toxic as fuck. Oh my God. But see, they don't fully commit to it. See what I'm saying? They're just like, they'll go through little spurts of it. You just got to make sure you avoid them when they're in that cycle, or avoid them completely. I don't like toxic Pisceans. All the people who have tried to tear me down in the past were Pisces. Yeah, literally. All the people who have tried so hard to tear me down are either Pisces sun or Pisces moon. Figure that one out. It's really just one of those things. I'm not saying all Pisceans are toxic. I'm not saying all Taurus is toxic. I'm saying there's some that are just overachievers. They just overachieving at that point. All right, card 25, release a dark wound, let love live. That wound is necrotized. It's rotten. Like, you're not bringing that flesh back. You're not bringing back that part of you. It's just done. It's done. It just has to be removed. And whatever that part is, whether it's a connection with a specific person, it's a connection with yourself, it's a connection with something, it just needs to It's just scope it out. Scope it out. Okay. Card number 39, free from judgment, free to love. Free yourself from the self-condemnation that you probably suffer from anytime you consider walking away from people who are toxic. If you see me in any type of positive light, where you take a look at the way I carry myself, my mindset, the ways in which I consistently grow, expand my awareness, hold myself accountable in order to empower myself over my life, um, all of that is possible because I free myself to love. I free myself from judgment. That self-condemnation is one hell of a thing, I swear. No one could condemn me as potently as I condemn myself. And I've gone through so many levels of personal hell just to learn there's nothing about me that needs to be condemned. I am a human being having a human experience and learning everything my soul has asked me to learn while human. I'm not intrinsically a bad person. And just because my loyalty has appropriately shifted back to me does not mean I'm a user of people. It does not mean that I'm a bad person, that I'm an abandoner. I will no longer allow other people to trigger my old insecurities, the same ones that were used to force me to comply. Fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck about that at all. Let me tell you. You want to paint me as bad? You want to talk shit? Why the fuck you still trying to fuck with me then? If I'm really that bad, why are you still trying to quote unquote be my friend? Have you guys ever asked yourself that? Someone who consistently badmouths you to other people, like someone who is talking so much caca about you because you walked away. Well, if I was that bad, why aren't you celebrating that I'm gone? The trash took itself out, right? Well, that's right, because you were never trash. They just want you to believe all of these distorted things that are said in order to force compliance, to coerce you. I don't give a shit. I give a shit about a lot of things, not about that, not about those type of people. Say what you will. Go ahead. Say what you will. And all the people listening to you and hearing you, take them with you. I don't need those kind of fuckers in my life either. That's not a loss to me. That's not a loss to you guys. To have someone in your life who's going to continue to report back to the most toxic person you know, take them. Take the whole fucking group. Live your life with such bravery that you're not afraid to lose the overspray of toxicity, which is these people who will continue to report back. Like, all seriousness, if you see someone so like, ooh, viciously attack my character, and you know that I don't do nothing to no one, and you could sit at their same table, stay there, please. Your seat's been taken away from mine. But I mean, you're eating by yourself. I know, it's beautiful company. There's no drama here. There's no shit talking here. There's no need for me to be someone outside of who I actually am here. But I mean, no. Just no. No. Go sit at your table. Your table is waiting for you. They've all prepared a lovely feast of let's talk shit about Emmy. That's all good. That's all good. That's all good. It is all good, right? You're hilarious, Giovanni. He says, fuck a Judas. I'm just saying. I'm cracking up because my mom used to have this saying. when a person that's been like very, shady with her, as a specific person, she would, when this person, I don't want to say who it is, when this person would give her a kiss on the cheek, she'd be like, kiss of Judas. Because the story is that Judas was paid X amount, and the deal was the Roman soldiers would be watching from like afar, and he would go to where Jesus was. And in order to identify who Jesus is, he would kiss Jesus on the cheek. And then that's when the Roman soldiers would know, like, okay, so that's Jesus. The kiss of Judas. It cracked me up. I'm just like, you like Judas. What you talking about? Card number 42. The word wants to be written. So this was in reverse. You don't need to send a message to explain anything. You just don't. You just don't. You've cried enough. You've cried enough in private as well as in front of them. Obviously this message is not for everyone, but if that's what you've done this whole time and they still couldn't find some sort of compassion for how they affect you, it's done. It's done, but it will continue until you choose to start acting like it's done. You don't trust yourself. Card number 31, trust yourself, but it's in reverse. Whew. I swear to God, TikTok be my therapy sometimes. Save me a lot of money, I swear. I swear. TikTok be saving me money on therapy. Hold on. I just saved this one video.
For survivors of mental abuse to have certain trauma responses left over that show up in relationships in the future until they've been resolved. Here are 5 examples of those from a licensed therapist and certified trauma professional. First, any doubt whether their partner really loves them because internally they struggle to see their own worth after going through the psychological abuse in the last relationship. Second is a tendency to overread into their partner to look for something that is all that could look like their partner being unsatisfied with them. Third is a tendency to shut down when they're criticized because they flash back to abuse from their past relationship. Fourth is the practice of masking their true self and only showing their partner what they want to see, with the belief that they're not worth acceptance by their partner being who they are. And fifth is a fear of bringing that guard down, with the belief that vulnerability means losing control and inevitably being hurt.
Damn. Okay. Jeez Louise. So 1, overreading their partner's emotions and actions. 2, tendency to shut down when they're being criticized because they flash back to issues from the past. 3, doubt their partner really loves them. 4, masking their true self because you fear not being accepted for who you are. 5, the fear of bringing your guard down. Ooh. How many of us experience this? These are trauma responses. Some of the most common. You think you're broken? Wonder why you act that way? I think it's time to acknowledge that you've really been using people to distract you from what you need to heal. I don't say this to shame you. I say this because you deserve to heal. You deserve to finally have someone who has the courage to point out that you deserve to heal. You deserve to move forward. You deserve to feel whole and strong when you are done, really, truly done. No one will have to convince you of this. This is something no one can stop you from trying to create for yourself. The difference between saying you're done and actually being done is the action that's put behind it. What you choose is what determines where you actually are. What you choose is what determines where you actually are. When you choose yourself, eventually you'll find yourself with yourself again. When you choose other people, you will be taken further and further and further from the home of your soul, from your center point, from your truth, from your stability, from your knowing. You will be taken further and further away. Unless someone cares about how lost you feel, how displaced it makes you feel to love them. Well, I don't know. I don't know why they're so important to you. Actually, that's a lie. I know exactly why. It's time for some of us to recognize the people who disregard us in this way, they're so important for us because they're willing to punish us in the way we feel we deserve to be punished. You don't deserve to be punished. I don't care what you've done in the past. You were learning. And sometimes, as part of our learning, our soul makes agreements with other souls and asks on soul level to come into your life at certain periods so that the two of you can experience specific things together. And sometimes what you experience together will disappoint one or both of you. It doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you real. And if you have people in your life who encourage you to remain in a place that lacks balance, you know exactly what that person is for you. A lesson that you're still actively learning. Lessons are not punishment. You punish yourself when you continue to prolong that lesson. I've heard so many people have come to me like, I must have been a bad person in a previous life, and that's why this life is punishing me. You're not being punished, you're being provided an opportunity to learn and grow beyond what you could not do in a previous life. It's about learning and growing. It's never about punishment. The only time you're actually punished is when you choose to allow people who are proud of punishing you to be in your life. Card number 34, in this world, not of this world. It's reverse. But you forget that you're in this world, but you're not of this world, and therefore capable of transcending, transmuting, and then transcending these human situations that you find yourself struggling through. Yeah, identify as human being because I'm in a human body, having a human life, full of human experiences. I am a human being, but don't get that twisted. I have a very clear understanding that I'm in this world, not of this world. I am in this world, not of this world. That means I have the capacity to transcend whatever limitations my poor little human self has been programmed to believe in. And I finally reached a point in my journey, in my life, in my understanding of myself and my soul, where I absolutely accept the only limits that ever existed for me were the limits that I believed. And I no longer believe those limits. So now I enter into the part of my life and my journey where I am free to be as limitless as I choose to be. There is nothing that I cannot achieve in this lifetime. Why? Because I'm a chosen one? No, because I choose me. And that is how we change the world. We choose our healing, we choose our peace, and we do not compromise our integrity because of the demands of toxic people. I will not join you there. If I have already moved out, I will not move back in. No. And some people will be like, oh my God, man, you're so stubborn. Oh my God, you're so toxic. Oh my God, why would you say that? Well, I thought we were sharing our feelings, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize only you could say things. That's toxic of you. See what I'm saying? Six of Cups. Memories, past influences, nostalgia, faded images. It's this thing of like holding on to the past, holding on to these faded memories. They're memories. They're not realities waiting for you to retrieve them. Those have been long since outgrown. I have memories of this outfit that I used to wear as a kid. I can't wear that now. I've outgrown it. The memory can stay with me. It's no longer a reality. Okay. Ooh, Page of Coins in reverse. Whew. Failure to recognize obvious facts, dissipation of ideas, illogical thinking, rebelliousness, wastefulness. I mean, are you only in the situation you're in because you don't want to give other people the opportunity to be able to say, I told you so? I, I don't know. I don't know. So many things I could say about that, but I'm not going to because it triggers me. It triggers a part of me that I haven't addressed yet. So I'm going to have to just leave that alone. High Priestess in reverse. Ignorance, short-sightedness, selfishness, passion, acceptance of superficial knowledge. Basically rejecting everything about you that can go deeper. Yeah. You know, if you're a deep sea fish, you die in the surface. You weren't designed for surface living. And if you feel like life is just this thing of slowly dying, that's because you're in the wrong environment, existing at the wrong depth. Yeah. Yep. Two of Cups. Love, friendship, beginning or renewed. Passion, engagement, understanding, cooperation, partnership, and marriage. It's this sense of a miserly person offering all of this to you. They're offering all of that renewed friendship and love. And, let's define miserly really quick. Of or characteristic of a miser, a quantity pitiably small or inadequate. Close-fisted, parsimonious, cheese paring, insufficient, deficient, inadequate, paltry, limited, meager. Let's see. Let's look up miser itself. A mean, grasping person. One who is extremely stingy with money, money being currency, currency being energy. Emotions like love is a form of energy. It's a currency. Let's see. I want to know the etymology of it. Ooh, okay. Roberta Smaligo Diakili. She comments, have you noticed that the word miser is just one letter short of the word misery? Mm, it's a quote from Max Lucado in his daily devotional From Poverty to Pride. Quote, have you noticed that the word miser is just one letter short of the word misery? The one letter short is the letter Y. So a miser who enters into this realm of misery is a miser who just continuously asks why. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Maybe I just think too highly of my own personal company at this point because nothing is going to top the I experience when I'm alone. Like, unless you can help me to feel something beyond the peace that I experience by myself, I don't think you're going to be allowed to stay. See? Ooh, Nine of Swords in reverse. Suspicion, slanderous gossip, shame, scruple, timidity, shady character. See what I'm saying? This fucker right here, they're offering you a cup, telling you it's hot soup coming from the cold. Lil, you know they put a spoonful of freaking pine sol up in that soup. You ever watch? Oh, shit. You ever watch Sixth Sense? Poor little girl, her mama be putting pine sol in her freaking food. Oh my God. Slowly but surely poisoning you from the inside out. As you take in more of their views on life, slowly poisoning you from the inside out. I'm just saying. Uh-huh. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Ace of Cups. Great abundance, fulfillment, perfection, joy, fertility, productiveness, beauty, and pleasure, favorable outlook. See, so this is you and this is them. Okay, let's switch it. Switch it. They're offering you a cup. You have your own cup. You have your own cup. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You see that moon in the background? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What the F is he hiding? Mm-hmm. He's hiding something. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. We just leave that alone. Six of Coins. Generosity, philanthropy, charity, gratification, and gifts. See, this is what you bring. This is how they see you. This is how they see you in the most positive way. And you might think like, oh, they love me because they see me in a positive way. And I think, because I'm a more logical type Piscean, I think they're like, ooh, fresh meat. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. This makes me feel so apathetic at this point. Okay. Three of Cups in reverse. Excessive pleasures, overabundance, superfluous. Next word. Loss of prestige, lack of appreciation. Yeah, it doesn't take much to go from like, oh my God, you're amazing to where's the rest of the stuff I want from you? That's what I've lived through. That's what I've lived through. Why do I no longer bring other energy workers onto the live streams? I used to do it on Facebook quite a bit because I felt like it was my job to support people and empower people. And, I no longer do that because of one fact. And this has been a fact across the board. It does not take long for someone to go from, oh my God, I mean, thank you so much. You totally empower me. Like I could not have ever had the courage to do this without your support. support and encouragement. Like, thank you so much. And it don't take long for them to go from there to like, well, if I just get rid of Emmy, then I'll have all the clients. And it's like, what? What? What's going on here? Yeah. So it's no longer some type of camaraderie, some type of co-created, shared. No, 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 it's not. It does not take much for them to go from that one place to the next place of, if we just get rid of her, we'll have her life. No, you won't, because it's my life. See, I had to assess this for many years. And then more of it happened, and I had to assess it in a much deeper manner. The root of the issue there was that I shared of my personal spiritual abundance in such a way that they began to believe that it was theirs. It's not. The only reason people trusted you was because they trust me. And because I said, you can trust them too. I will no longer people to slaughter. No, no. I accept at this point, I cannot guarantee someone's level of integrity. And because I cannot guarantee that the person will remain with the same level of integrity that they were operating at in order to hang with me. Mm-mm. And this is not about like, oh, my clients are mine. No, this is about, if you randomly find that person on your own, but if you're freaking drawn to them for services, do it. Whatever you need to experience. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but I'm not going to lead you to them. I'm not going to. Why? Because every time I have, it doesn't take long for the person to get breached by some of the most horrendous fucking parasitic shit that amplifies their insecurities of, well, I'm less than Emmy, so I need to take Emmy out in order for me to have it all. Because if Emmy continues to exist and people are now eventually going to compare me to Emmy, they'll see that she's so much more powerful than me. Like, you're full of shit. You're telling yourself shit. I don't believe any of that. But since you want to be fucking toxic, fuck out of here with that shit. For real. And anyone who knows me knows, I am not opposed to you guys going to other people for services, for readings, for any of that. I've been known to tell people in private sessions, like, oh, you go to this reader. I don't know who that is, but I love their energy. Keep going to them. Like, seriously, they're going to help you learn something, like things that I probably won't be able to help you learn. Keep going to them. They have integrity. I'm not worried. It's not like, oh my God, I'm going to lose it. No, I don't own you. I don't own you. You don't owe me lifelong, unconditional, blind devotion and loyalty. No. At some point, you'll be drawn to other things. Go explore. Go explore. Learn yourself. I'm just one person. I have a very fixed mindset. Yeah, I'm open to a lot of things, but I'm a fully formed person. I see things strictly from my point of view. And sometimes what you need is a point of view that's not mine. So go and explore. If we're meant to still have contact, we will. I'm literally not scared if people explore themselves and their lives and seek out others. That's the beautiful thing of a truly empowered person, a healthy person. You don't have to stay with me in order for me to what? Appreciate you? No. No. You are a free sovereign. You can stay, you can go, you can be in multiple places at one time. Life is so beautiful when you allow it to be, when you allow yourself to learn and expand to the degree that you are capable of. It becomes this beautiful adventure. I've had people who have disappeared for a few years and then they pop back up and are like, hey, how the heck have you been? There's no like, is you a spy? Like if you were gone for a while and you come back and I feel that, I probably always felt that about you. I probably always felt that about you. Like one time we were live streaming, right? This was fairly recent, and someone's like in the comments of, yeah, everyone told me to stay away from you. Bitch, why you here then? Go listen to your people. Stay away. You here to report back? Like you make me feel real odd. Like, I'm good. I am good. I know what feels like home and what feels like bullshit. I will only ever accept into my life those who are a reflection of my spirit's home. No, I'm done with all of that shit of like, well, I don't want to offend people. Be offended. I don't give a fuck. You were offended when I was nice. You were offended when I shut my mouth. You were offended when I let you trample all over me. Well, now be fucking offended because that's who you are, but be offended because I stood up for myself. You're not going to trample over me again. Not unless you want your legs broken. I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm going to be me. And who am I? I'm a peaceful person. And this is important to hear because being peaceful does not mean being a doormat. Being peaceful is being capable of standing up for yourself when you need to. Because my peace, don't come here with that half-ass shit trying to disturb my peace. You're going to get a whole nother reaction from me. No, 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 no. Because when you're done, you got to act like you're done. I'm done with being that person that I was. Not because I was less than then, but because I allowed people to treat me like I was. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Someone was rude to an old friend in the comments of a live stream. Oh, I took time out of that live stream to correct that person. The old friend is like, hey, whoa, don't argue with people on account of me. No, no, no. I'm not arguing on account of you. You don't need me defending you. You need to recognize when I'm no longer that same person who is just going to be like that, where no, I'm not going to be quiet no more. I'm not insecure to that degree anymore. I still have insecurities, yes. That's okay. I still have these little quirks that make my life a little more struggle filled for me. That's okay. Am I still that same person who will stay quiet? No. No, I'm not. And I love it. I love the me that I'm becoming. I love the me that I already am. And I still love the me that I was back then. Every part of your journey is a valid part of you. That girl still exists. The one that stays quiet, the one that tiptoes around people's feet, she's still there, but only for a select few. The ones that have earned that type of love. Everyone else, I'll paddle you in the ass with my words. I will adjust your fucking attitude in real life, right here, right now, real time. No, I'm not going to sit and wait. Oh. I see someone's comment. Yeah, I don't like to be around stupidity. It's a good place for me to end the live because my piece is worth it. So if you guys could please give this video a thumbs up, please share this far and wide so that so my voice can be heard. So this message can be heard. I fear nothing, for the Lord himself created me perfectly in his and her reflection. I will no longer live in fear. No fear of people who have nothing nice to say about anyone else. No fear of people who fear other things Creator has made. I'm a child of God. And I know damn well my father and my mother will fuck shit up on my behalf. On my behalf. So I need no fear of beasts. I need no fear of demonic things. The only thing I've ever really feared was tapping into a greatness that I never felt I was worthy of. The older I get, the more I realize I'm abso-fucking-lutely worthy. Absolutely. It's something I will never fail. Because all I have to do is be me. This entire journey, you guys, this entire journey has been nothing but a journey of undoing the beliefs that other people have ingrained into you. This belief that you're not enough, that you're somehow going to fail, that people are going to take from you what is rightfully yours. Fuck all that shit. You want to take something from me? I want to see you try. You want to take my voice and my truth? Good luck with that. I'm going to talk louder. I'm going to be more visible. And I'm going to do it with even less fear of people hearing me be profound as fuck. You, sir, serve as fuel for my rise. Don't be mad at me when you get burned. Don't be mad at me. Should never interfere with a phoenix rising. You and your belief structure might have been what convinced me to tie myself to a stake. It might have been your lighter to light the flames, but it's my truth that turns me into a phoenix. One not afraid of the destruction that occurs to your system as I begin to tap into more of who I actually am. And I tell you right now, with no shame and no hesitation, I was born for this. I will dismantle your system. And none of you and your brethren can stop me. Why? Because my people are ready to rise with me. So you keep hanging around your beast. At some point, if I get tired of walking, I might ride it. Your beast doesn't scare me. And it will bow to me when I tell it to. Why? Because like I said, I am a daughter of God, and you will not stop me. You might try, but you'll hurt your feelings when you fail. You cannot override the purpose of my soul, nor can you override the work that I've already done, which is what? Simply allow myself to witness as I exist. What's the gravity of that? Well, now all these people here, they're not afraid to be themselves. They're not afraid to question. And that's the start of the unraveling of your entire system. Oh, too bad for you. Little tiny girl, the one the world told that I had to be docile and quiet, ended up having the biggest fucking mouth with the biggest fucking balls to match. I'm just saying. Have no fear, guys. It's only when you have fear that people get ballsy in their approach, their attempt to fear monger. It gets exhausting, but I have stamina. I'm just saying. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. If you are watching this on a podcast streaming app, please do whatever the thing is, rate it, review it, whatever it is, download it, save it, subscribe it, follow it. I don't know. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't. But hey, if you do and it's more convenient to hear my messages, I do upload my YouTube videos onto all the podcast streaming apps. I'm literally everywhere at this point. Go find me. I'm evolving. If you need a less ratchet delivery of a message, hey, I understand. I understand. Then look for the Soul Sanctuary podcast. That's also me, but less ratchet. So if you'd like to be part of extremely profound, exclusive conversations, I do live stream for my membership. There's no need for 2 memberships. If you go to the soulsanctuary.love, you can sign up for that. And we talk about seriously profound things that I can't talk about here in live streams because YouTube is a bichacho. Yeah, if you're new to me, and you're wondering what type of things I would talk about, let's just say I have downloaded into my personal Akashic records quite a few fragments of the CDT plates. Those are the celestial plates that have the history of all of creation. So we talk about a lot of stuff is what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Maud, for putting the link in the comments. I'm putting it here on the screen. www.thesoulsanctuary.love. That's where you go to sign up. We have different tiers. If you want to just listen to the podcast or watch the live stream, I live stream Monday through Sunday. I usually live stream at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time during the week. Tuesdays is when I have my Soul Sanctuary podcast. Sundays, I typically have expedites where I do energy work and personal readings via live stream. It's just one big fun time over here. Come join us often. If you'd like to be part of the live broadcast, go to my channel, Emmy Evolving on YouTube. Emmy Evolving on YouTube. And I'm live 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time pretty much every day. I'll see you guys again